Hello everyone and welcome back. In the previous videos, we explored how Google Antigravity works and how its core features support agent-driven development. Now, it is time to get hands-on. In this video, we will build a simple snake game inside Antigravity and use that project to understand how prompts, logic, artifacts, and rapid iteration come together in practice. Before we begin building, let's quickly understand one important idea in anti-gravity: the artifact. An artifact is not just text output, it is live, interactive output that actually runs. In this case, the artifact becomes our playable game window. That means we can generate the game, test it immediately, make changes, and see the updated result right inside the workflow. This is the mindset we want to follow while building in anti-gravity. We think about the feature, write a prompt, play with the result, break or test it, refine it, and then ship a better version. The key idea is that this loop is fast. Instead of trying to make everything perfect in one go, we improve game step by step. The first step is to define the game logic clearly. The player uses the arrow keys to move. The snake eats food, grows longer, and increases the score. The game ends if the snake hits a wall or itself. This planning step may look simple, but it is important because anti-gravity works best when the goal, rules, and end state are clearly defined when prompting. Now, we convert that idea into a clear first prompt. Here we specify that the snake game should be built as a single HTML file with inline CSS and JavaScript. We also define the core mechanics. The code display, the start screen, the restart flow, arrow key controls, and the retro green terminal. The main lesson here is simple. The more specific the prompt, the better first version usually becomes. Once anti-gravity generates the game, do not rush into editing immediately. First, review the artifact output, check whether the preview renders properly, test whether the controls respond, and verify whether the game overstate works as expected. This is also a great moment to ask anti-gravity to explain the structure of the generated code in plain English, so you are not only building but also understanding what was created. This is where the workflow gets interesting. Instead of rewriting the whole prompt, we make small, targeted requests. We can increase the speed, add a high score, fix a gameplay bug, change the visuals, or introduce difficulty levels. This is one of the best ways to work in anti-gravity because each change is focused, easy to verify, and easier to learn from. Once the core game works, we can push it further with AI-powered features. For example, after a game over event, we can send the player's score and survival time to a model and generate a short coaching tip. This shows how anti-gravity is not just useful for building the game itself, but also layering for intelligence on top of the experience in a practical way. After the main features are done, the next step is to polish the game. This includes checking for bugs and edge cases, improving the visuals, and even adding mobile-friendly controls if needed. Once that is complete, we can copy the code from the artifact, save it as an HTML file, and run it directly in the browser. That is full journey from idea to playable prototype. If we look back, the whole build can be understood as a sequence of prompts. First, we create the game, then we ask anti-gravity to explain the code. After that, we change logic, add difficulty, introduce an AI feature, and finally polish the result for shipping. This is a great example of how anti-gravity supports development as a prompt-driven iterative workflow. At this point, we have all the pieces in place. We know the game logic, we have the first prompt, and we understand how to review and improve the result. So now it is time to move from explanation into action and actually build the snake game inside anti-gravity. In this hands-on part, focus on the workflow more than just the output. Watch how the initial prompt becomes a live artifact, how testing reveals what needs improvement, and how targeted prompts helps us shape the final result. This is the core anti-gravity experience, building by prompting, testing, and refining in rapid loops. So let's start building. Alright, in this hands-on, I'm not building the snake game from scratch manually. Instead, I'm going to use an AI coding agent that is anti-gravity powered by the Gemini 3 Flash model to generate the entire game for me. My role here is simple. I'll give a well-structured prompt describing the game and the AI will handle the implementation. So, over here you can see the prompt that I have written. This is exactly how modern AI assistant development works. You focus on clarity of instructions and the model does the heavy lifting. In the prompt, I have clearly defined that we want a snake game in a single HTML file with inline CSS and JavaScript. The snake should move on a grid, eat food to grow, and increase score by 10 points. So, if it hits the wall or itself, the game should end. We also want features like a start screen, score display, restart option, and arrow key controls, all styled in a retro green terminal look. The key thing to understand here is the quality of the output depends heavily on how well you define the requirements. I'm clearly specifying the game mechanics, UI features, controls, and the styling. This helps the model generate a complete and usable solution in one go. Now, Antigravity will take this prompt and generate an implementation plan. So over here, we can see that it has generated an implementation plan for me, including the HTML structure, styling, and the game logic. Once the plan I have gone through, if it looks good, I'll proceed with the implementation. If I want to make any kind of changes, I can prompt over here. Right now, it is in the planning mode. Once I click on the proceed button, it will start thinking. So let's see how it goes. It is generating the coding structure according to the plan that we have defined. Let's wait and see the code files it generates. After the code is generated, I'll open it in the browser and quickly test the different things that I have defined. Over here, we can see that it has initiated the snake file creation. It has also defined the kind of boundaries we want. So it is basically moving to the HTML file. Let's preview the file it has created. In my previous videos, I have mentioned that one of the key features of Antigravity is that it has the browser control. So once the file has been created, it will test the entire module or basically our entire application in the browser and will take the visual verification as well. So on the verification screen, the walkthrough that it has created at last, we can see the screenshot. So let's look at the key features that it has defined. It says that it has built the retro snake game in a single HTML file. Over here, we can see the HTML file. It has created the inline CSS variable. We have JavaScript as well to control the arrows and everything. Now let's play the game in the browser and let's see what kind of implementation it has done for us. It also displays the rules of the game, and that is when we enter space to start. So since I did not move any arrows, it resulted the snake hitting the wall, which ended the game. Now let's try moving the arrows and trying to gain some scores over here. Uh-oh, we missed it again. I'm not really good at it, but we'll see. I must say it's a fun game to play, but yeah. Okay, after I ate a red ball, it increased my score by 10. And that's it. You hit the ball again and the game will stop. So that's a really good part. After the code has been written by Antigravity, we quickly open the browser to test the start screen, snake movement, food eating and scoring, the collision detection, and the game over and restart part. This step is important because AI can generate code fast, but validation is still our responsibility. The main takeaway here is you don't always need to write everything from scratch. With tools like Antigravity and models like Gemini 3 Flash, you can go from idea to a working prototype just by writing a good prompt. So that was our snake game built inside Google Antigravity. The main takeaway is that Antigravity makes rapid prototyping much more practical by combining prompts, live artifacts, and iterative improvement in one workflow. In the next video, we will continue building and explore more of what Antigravity can do. Thank you for watching.